video, I'm going to share with you 6 tips to help you improve the quality of your sleep. Now, sleep problems are really common, whether it's a difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep. However, the thing to remember is a sleep problem is usually a symptom of something else. So that might be stress, anxiety, depression, or low self-esteem. So if you want good sleep over the longer term, you do need to work out what your sleep problem is a symptom of. And you can do that by talking to a psychologist. But in the meantime, I'm going to give you some short-term tips to help you improve the quality of your sleep. Okay, so the first tip is a body clock tip. You need to get yourself into a really good routine. Because most of us prefer a day that's closer to 25 hours, so it's very easy to slip out of our 24-hour routine. Now, what you want to do is you want to try and make sure that you're going to sleep, falling asleep, and waking up at a similar time every day. And when you're starting out, this needs to include weekends. Once you've settled into your routine, you can allow yourself a little lie-in at the weekend though. Now, we have more control over when we wake up than when we fall asleep. And actually pushing too hard, trying too hard to control when we fall asleep creates anxiety, which makes the whole sleep problem worse. So focus on when you wake up and try and wake up at the same time every day. Then what you'll notice is things will fall into place at the other end. So you'll notice over time you will start to fall asleep at a similar time. Okay. The second tip is about a bedtime routine. Basically, have one. Give your body as many cues as you can that it's time to go to sleep. And run through this routine as closely as you can every single night. Okay. The third tip is about making sure that bed is just for sleeping. Now, human beings make associations very easily, good and bad. So you don't want to teach your body that bed is where you go to watch YouTube. So only go to bed when you feel you're tired enough to fall asleep within 10 minutes. And if you don't, get up. And whilst you're doing this, when you wake up in the morning, try and get up within 5 minutes of waking. So you're teaching your mind and your body that bed is just for sleeping. The fourth tip is about what you do if you can't fall asleep. Okay, so you can't fall asleep. Within 10 minutes of getting into bed, get up. Then write down all of your thoughts. Now, when we're struggling to go to sleep, our thoughts become very rapid and very circular. So writing your thoughts down not only gets them out of your head, but it slows them down and stretches them out. It stops them being circular. It gives them a beginning and an end. Once you've done that, once you've written as many thoughts as you possibly can, you need to calm your mind, either by reading a book or by meditating. No technology. We'll talk about why that is in the next tip. Okay, and then only get back into bed when you think that you are likely to fall asleep within 10 minutes. And if you don't, get up and repeat the cycle. Now, you might notice in the early days that you're running through this cycle quite a few times, but over a number of weeks, you will do so less and less. Okay, so the 5th tip, no technology. You need to avoid technology for at least 2 hours before it's time to fall asleep. And this is because 2 hours, that 2-hour period is when your body starts releasing the hormone melatonin, which is the one that helps your body go to sleep. And the blue light that is emitted from devices interferes with this process. I suppose the other thing as well is that when you're online, you're more likely to come across things that are going to trigger strong emotions, which of course will interfere with your ability to sleep. Okay, 6th and final tip is about worry. Now, it's very normal to worry when you can't sleep, and it's actually the biggest problem that is associated with sleep problems. I'm not going to just say don't worry, but I want you to think about the fact that the ideal amount of sleep for a human being to get is between 7 and 9 hours, but actually we can survive on a lot less, especially in the short term. We simply wouldn't have survived this long as a race if we couldn't. So try and take some comfort from that, but also focus on the previous 5 tips and work through them methodically. And over time, with some support to work out what underlies your sleep problem, your sleep will improve. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.